What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we are here for a PC Mania review from night one of PC Mania last night. 9 matches, or 10 if you want to count the fact that one match was ended in a DQ and then turned into a no DQ match. To be honest, the boneyard match absolutely match of the night. The latter match was turned into a triple threat one-on-one instead of a tag team match because of The Miz being sick. Was the match of the night inside the Performance Center. Other than that, everything else on this show was blah to okay. One finish that made absolutely no sense, pissed everybody else off, as including myself, and another one that just was terrible. This show was average at best. Now, the kickoff pre-show for one night WrestleMania was what appears to be the kickoff for the WWE Studios with Corey Graves. He's joined by Peter Rosenberg. They talk about Gronkowski hosting the night. They hit the big event. Graves goes over how fans can watch WrestleMania 36 besides the network, which I wonder how many people, if anybody, actually paid $69.99 or $59.99 to watch this show. This show was not worth $59.99 whatsoever. Anyone actually go to the Fox Sports app and pay for this? I have a feeling that nobody did, and that's going to kill any deal that Vince McMahon wants to do to try and get money off of this, because this show did not have that coming. Drew Gulak took on Cesaro in a nice little 4-minute match. Cesaro wins with an airplane spin, drops him, and gets the win, which is a weird way for him to win a match. We opened up WrestleMania with the Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon at WWE Studio in Stamford. She talks about how this WrestleMania will be different due to the trying times we are living through. She goes on and says tonight they hope to give fans a diversion during this hard times and deliver a sense of hope and determination and perseverance to entertain you and your family. On behalf of everyone at WWE, especially the WWE superstars, she gives us thanks and welcomes us to WrestleMania. So we open up. We get a video package of multiple people from Aretha Franklin, Boyz II Men, Gladys Knight, Ray Charles, the Boys Choir of Harlem, Willie Nelson, and others doing America the Beautiful, which was a good way to do it. I mean, they could have had JoJo or somebody who sings doing an America the Beautiful in front of no fans, but I think this was a better way to do that. They get the pirate theme opening video package for WrestleMania 36. Narrated by a Jack Sparrow-like character, a lot of comedy in this package. Honestly, this was probably what they were going to use at WrestleMania in Raymond James Stadium, but that did not happen, and honestly, I think this was a better idea to do this. It would have been stupid for them to go I think they should have used something else. This was like I said, when all shit hit the fan, new logo for PC Mania, new opening video package, new everything. Can the pirate theme tell Tampa Bay that you can have WrestleMania 38 and then bring all the pirate theme stuff back in 2 years, with, of course, WrestleMania 37 going to Hollywood for the first time since WrestleMania 21. We are live on tape from the Performance Center. WrestleMania 36 Gronkowski is up in the Sparrow's nest. He knows how to start a party, and he ends it and end it 2 days later. Talks everyone to open a beverage, forget about everything else in the world, enjoy WrestleMania. Says, I need my man, Mojo Rawley, to come in here, get this thing hyped. Mojo's hyped up, as he would be. Looks like Mojo Rawley is back to his, I don't get hype, I stay hype gimmick. That's what it felt like they were going with this. Gronk gives him the 4 floor chops to the chest for good luck. And they say the show starts right now. And the first match is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Bliss Cross Applesauce versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. Michael Cole, representing SmackDown, is here with the 2020 Hall of Fame-elect JBL. Of course, Hall of Fame did not happen on Thursday as it was supposed to be because of course, all the bullshit we're going through right now. So that is your SmackDown half of the commentary group. There was Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton from Monday Night Raw, so it wasn't JBL and Cole the entire time, which if they wanted to, they could have done that. Another great thing about this show is the fact that it was over in 3 hours. That was it. What made this great? There was 9 matches too, by the way. 9 matches. Of course, you want to cut the one up and say it was 2 matches to make it 10. This show went by so fast. Over the last 4 or 5 WrestleManias, they have been continuing to get further and further and further, longer and longer and longer and longer. Last year's WrestleMania ended, well, the main event started at midnight the next day. So the fact that we ended this show at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 10, sorry, not 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, made me think that if they wanted to get rid of TakeOver WrestleMania weekend and get TakeOver its own time in April on its own on a Sunday, and you wanted to make WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday where you could have 16 matches, SmackDown can have one half of WrestleMania, Raw could have the other half, and you could actually give these guys the time that they need, I would not be mad about that at all. They want to go this where we have 16 matches for WrestleMania, 8 on Sunday, 8 on Saturday, 8 on Sunday. I am fine with that. The Hall of Fame can be on Thursday because, of course, SmackDown is on Friday for the next few years. This show went by so fast. It was so great. That was like a big positive of this show. But of course, Asuka and Kairi Sane taking on Bliss Cross Applesauce. I will say I loved the blue attire and everything for Kairi Sane coming out. I wish she could have got her entrance from the battleship or the pirate ship at Raymond James Stadium. Raymond James Stadium has that big, huge pirate ship, and no doubt about it, they would have had something for Kairi Sane to come out of that to make her entrance down the ring for a triple threat match between them, Bliss Cross Applesauce, and of course the Divas of Doom. I also want to mention the fact that on the one side where hard cam would usually be, they had that big, huge WrestleMania sign we saw from the Royal Rumble to right before all of this happened, up in the stands, onto the side right there. So when they panned over there or used that camera angle, you didn't see emptiness. You saw a big, huge WrestleMania sign. So I think that was a good move by WWE. This was a good opener. But one thing about this is, Kairi Sane and Asuka have had the tag team titles since October. They mentioned that on commentary that these guys beat Kairi Sane, beat Bliss Cross at Hell in a Cell for the tag team titles and have had them titles since then. And since that time, Asuka and Kairi Sane have defended the titles, 4 times at the most? The last time they defended the tag team titles was at TLC when Kairi Sane took that nasty bump from Charlotte carelessly, and she was concussed for the remainder of the match, and that match should have went down to just Asuka and Becky Lynch, but that's neither here nor there. So this is the first title match in months. The problem with that is there was only 2 other tag teams because the Iconics, we don't know what's going on with them. There was only until this past Friday, there was only 1 other tag team besides these 2 who are active to actually do something. But now that it looks like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire is ripped up, the winner of this match has nobody to defend these titles against because the other team is on Raw. One team is on Raw and one team is on SmackDown. So these titles need to be removed from the show completely. Great match going here. Nikki Cross was the star of this match. She went out there and showed you that I deserve to be here. People might question if I deserve to be a part of WrestleMania or anything, but she went out there, JBL and Michael Cole, talking about how she got to define herself and be showing that she belongs here on the main stage. Towards the end of the match, Bliss breaks up a twisted up with the twisted Bliss off the top. Sane runs in for a big spear on her. More back and forth. Cross climbs up and brawls with Sane on the top. Asuka joins in to help. Sane Asuka goes for a sunset flip powerbomb, but Sane joins in and leaps, knocking Cross off her shoulders with a modified Doomsday device. Asuka covers Cross, but Cross still kicks out at 2. Bliss gets sent to the apron. Asuka misses a shoulder on Cross in the corner. Cross with a spinning neckbreaker on Sane. Bliss tags in, goes up top, hits the Twisted Bliss. 1, 2, 3. Asuka and Kairi Sane are no longer champions. Bliss and Cross are your new women's tag team champions and the first 2-time women's tag team champions. There has been a lot of rumors for months that when their contracts were up, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane were gone. Io Shirai, it has been rumored for months and talked about for months that Io Shirai has not been happy in NXT for a good while. Kairi Sane brought up to the main roster. Why? I don't have a clue still why they brought her up. It took them forever to do something with with Io Shirai. I'm not Io Shirai, but Kairi Sane. They finally put her together with Asuka. Turned both of them heel, which in normal circumstances would have been like, are you kidding me? Really? Kairi Sane, one of the cutest girls they have, like literally looks like an anime character come to life. You're gonna turn her heel, and somehow they made it work. She made it work. But there is talk that she's going to go back to Stardom. She's going to be leaving WWE in the near future. And I'm not saying that's true, but it feels like because Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are your new women's tag team champions, that Kairi Sane is on her way out, and this could possibly be her last match in WWE. And if that's true, it was rightful for her to take the pinfall. Both of these women, Asuka and Kairi Sane, need to be split up anyway. This tag team never made any sense. One is an empress, one is a pirate princess. Why the hell were they teamed together? So, if this was Kairi Sane's last match, it was a great send off for her. Thank you, Kairi, for being one of the best they ever had in NXT, doing everything that you could with the stuff that a little bit that they've given you on the main roster, and being just good at what you do. Going to Stardom, which, if she goes back to Stardom, there is a high chance that she could possibly make her way over as Kairi Hojo to AEW and join the ranks of AEW and be able to work in the States still just as herself. And we can see what Kairi Hojo can do with the likes of a Riho and Bea Priestley when Bea Priestley is able to come back over to the States after all this lockdown is over with. Nyla Rose, Chris Statlander, and so on and so forth. But that's just me guessing, because of course, as we know, Bea Priestley, a mainstay in Stardom, has been featured in AEW over the last few months. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do from here on out. If Kairi Sane's leaving, let me know in the comment section below what you think, and if she is leaving, what was your favorite portion of Kairi Sane in NXT WWE? Favorite match? Mine has to be her winning the NXT Women's Championship from Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver. What was it? Brooklyn? I believe it was Brooklyn. That was a hell of a match. But we'll have to wait and see what they do. It's a damn shame that the Sky Pirates never got a chance to go for the tag team titles when all that was going on. But if Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are both gone, WWE is going to lose two of the best that they could have. But only time will tell. We'll have more when it's going to happen. So Kayla Braxton is backstage with champion Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Sami Zayn is confident about beating Bryan and says he will do what few superstars have done: walk in and out of WrestleMania with the Intercontinental Championship, which is true. A lot of the Intercontinental title is actually one of the titles that changes hands a lot at WrestleMania. When was the last time somebody actually walked into WrestleMania as champion and walked out? Anyway, we see Shayna Baszler backstage warming up as her match will be coming up later. And then we have Matthew Break match of the night, part 1. I'm sorry, that's tonight. Elias versus King Baron Corbin. I didn't care about this match. This was a SmackDown match. Elias wins. As the referee catches Corbin using his feet on the rope, Corbin uses the referee. Flash rolls up. 1, 2, 3. I don't care. This match was. It's one of those matches I don't care about. There was nothing that anybody would actually sit there and want to watch this match and be like, this is on WrestleMania. It's the same thing when we see Aleister Black and Lashley tonight. It's another bathroom break. You blink, you miss it. It's something that no one's going to care about. Raw Women's title match, Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. This ending pissed me off and everybody else. We see a custom 18-wheeler pulled up, which was supposed to be Becky Lynch's entrance to WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium. That didn't happen because you know why. So these guys are having themselves a knockdown, drag out, beat the hell out of each other match. Now, I know you could not have Shayna Baszler go in here and do what she did in the Elimination Chamber, where she went in and she killed 6 women or 5 women. You just can't do that. Because you don't want it, because that would be WWE doing to Becky what they did to Kofi Kingston. He goes into his match with Brock Lesnar, F5, 1, 2, 3. You didn't want that. But the way they ended this, they have a back and forth on counters on the apron. They end up on the floor again. Baszler launches Becky headfirst into the announce table a few times. Baszler breaks the count and comes back in, taunting Becky. He rolls her back in the back. Baszler rolls her back in and follows. Baszler approaches, but Becky suckers her in for a submission attempt. Baszler counters and goes for the cover through the clutch. And the smart person would have had her take Becky down, get her in the clutch. Becky fights to the end and passes out, losing the Women's Championship shy of a year. What did WWE do? It's so fitting that I mentioned Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn number 3, was it? I believe. TakeOver number 3? Because if anybody remembers that match ended with Shayna Baszler going for the cover through the clutch, bringing Kairi Sane down, Kairi Sane flipping over, pinning Shayna Baszler. What the f do you think they did last night? Had her go down, Becky flip over, 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch, 2 years in a row, wins the Women's Championship match that she is in with a shitty fucking roll-up. Are you kidding me? You had Shayna Baszler go into the Royal Rumble. 8 eliminations. 8 eliminations. Should have been 9, should have been the winner. That's neither here nor there. Then she goes to she went to the Royal Rumble, 8 eliminations. Then she goes to the Elimination Chamber. Isn't even the next to last person to come in. She comes in with Liv Morgan and Asuka still able to come in. Kills woman after woman after woman after woman. Gets it down to Liv Morgan. Beats the piss out of Liv Morgan. Back and forth, making this woman pay for sins she didn't commit. And then when it came down to Asuka and Shayna Baszler, a thing that everyone wanted to see, Asuka gets a few licks in and then gets killed. And then we get to WrestleMania, and you still have Becky go over. This company is fucking retarded. This just proves how retarded Vince McMahon is. Everything that Triple H builds up, Vince McMahon destroys. Everything. You have people like, oh, well, it was great to see Becky win because it destroys Baszler, who held the NXT Women's NXT Women's Division back. First off, she doesn't have that type of power. She doesn't book her way. This was like Baszler when she was 2-time NXT Women's Champion and was quote unquote holding the women's division back. Did you see the women's division in NXT? Nobody was where Shayna Baszler was. Bianca Belair wasn't ready. Bianca Belair can still be down in NXT for the next 2 or 3 years before she is given a championship. Casey Catanzaro not there. Io Shirai should have won a couple times, but they had other plans for her. he turned heel, you're not gonna have a heel Shayna Baszler versus a heel Io Shirai in a one-on-one match. Ain't gonna happen. Candice LeRae, nowhere close to the level of Shayna Baszler. They have had nobody until they built up Rhea Ripley the right way to give her the championship last December. So anybody who wants to sit there and say that Baszler held the women's division back in NXT, look at who actually books the shows, because it ain't Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler doesn't have the power to go, well, no, I don't want to put this person over. I should win over this person. This isn't a Reign of Terror Triple H thing, where he pretty much booked his championship reigns. He booked everything to where it needed to go. This was terrible booking. Apparently, outside of probably the Boneyard match, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and that match, oh boy. But this was bad booking. And apparently they had 2 endings to each match, outside of probably the Boneyard match, as I mentioned. And this was the finish you went with. This was the finish you went with. Oh boy. This company just can't even. I can't even, really. This was just pathetic. In one fell swoop, you made Shayna Baszler look like an idiot, and you've taken the entire women's division that Becky Lynch ran through just to get to this point, and Shayna Baszler ran through to get to this point, to what are they going to do? They have nothing. Now, they have nothing. Who is Becky gonna face now? Ruby Riott isn't relevant at all. Liv Morgan, give me a goddamn break. Natalia's past her goddamn prime, should be retiring anytime soon. Who do they have? I can't even. Becky winning makes no sense. If they wanted to give her the women's championship for a year, I can understand that. But why would you bring Shayna Baszler up only to lose in such piss poor fashion? You had it simple. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are supposed to be getting married. Seth Rollins is leaving. Becky Lynch is supposed to be leaving with him. You take the title off of her. You give it to Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler runs roughshod over the women's division for the next few months. When we get to SummerSlam, and hopefully all this shit's over with, because it better be by then, or things are just gonna go. You're gonna start. This stuff's not over by SummerSlam. I guarantee you, there's gonna be riots in the street. Just saying. But if you get to SummerSlam and there's able to have crowds and all this other stuff, you build to Becky versus Baszler 2. Now, why would I want to see that match if you're going to make Becky Lynch look like he's this unstoppable god? Give me a fucking break. This was the worst call. This was the worst call that they could have done for this entire match. If you defend the WWE booking Becky Lynch to go over Shayna Baszler in such a piss poor manner, you are the fucking problem, and you need to stop watching. This was terrible. From a piss poor booking decision to Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. This match should have went on for 20 minutes at the most. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Back from break, out comes Daniel Bryan in with Drew Gulak. We see Mojo and Rob Gronkowski getting hype up on the perch. Out comes Sami Zayn with Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Gary Hamilton does the introductions. Sami Zayn does a lot of stalling for the first few minutes, because it's been the thing that for a good while he hasn't been touched. Since he's started doing his managerial duties, he hasn't been touched one bit. Bryan tries to get his hand on him, but he keeps rolling out as Cesaro and Nakamura run interference. Gulak ends up taking out Cesaro and Nakamura. Sami tries to run up to Gulak, but puts the brakes on when Gulak turns around. Bryan tells Gulak to allow Sami to walk out for a countout. Sami says that was a smart decision. Sami goes to walk up the ramp, but Bryan takes him down. Bryan brings Sami to the ring, and Sami keeps begging him to take it easy. Bryan mounts Sami, beats on him. Bryan works Sami outside and brings him back in for the missile dropkick from the top. Bryan kicks up and stops Sami Zayn from escaping to the ring again. Bryan with a big slap and trash talk in the corner now. Sami tries to fight back, but Bryan keeps kicking. Bryan with a running dropkick. Sami finally drops Bryan in the middle of the ring. Sami still yelling and laughing throughout the match. Sami rocks Bryan a few times. In the middle of the ring, Bryan comes back with a dropkick. Bryan with some trash talk as his own if the guest kicks while Sami is on his knees. Nakamura says a beatdown Gulak on ringside, but Bryan takes them out. Bryan comes back up off the top rope, but Sami Zayn nails a standing haluva kick to Daniel Bryan as he's coming down. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn retains the championship. Not mad about this at all. This match could have went either way. I don't think either one of us would any one of us would have been mad with either one of these guys winning. So I'll give him this one. This one was not a bad finish. Interesting way to actually have the match end with him going for a dive, Sami standing up and hitting a haluva kick without like a standing haluva kick for the win. Good on them. Triple threat match, tag team champ titles. Kofi Kingston, Jimmy Uso, and John Morrison. Of course, this was supposed to be a triangle ladder match. Tag team match, unfortunately, that did not happen due to Miz being sick before the match was even able to be taped, so they cut him out, Big E out, and Jay out as well. So, this match was how to do a match with or without a crowd. These three guys went out there and said, you know what? We're going to go out there. We're going to kill it. We're going to do everything we possibly can to win. You just say, hey, this what we can do to show you that we don't even need a crowd. We don't even need a crowd. Until we got to the finish. My God, this finish. Multiple endings, and this was the best they could come up with. I can't even go into everything. I know we saw John Morrison tightroping the top rope to get to Kofi Kingston and hit a Spanish fly. There's so much going on in this, but the finish, I can't even get with this finish. Up on the top of the ropes. Morrison climbs up to the top, moving slowly. Morrison grabs the titles, but here comes Kofi. He climbs up, rocks Morrison a few times. Morrison fights back as Kofi reaches for the title. The titles. Uso brings the ladder up and stands next to their ladder. Uso climbs up and fights them all three. All three grab the title. They unclip the title holder. All three men have this gold title holder that they've been using since they unified the titles with Randy Orton and John Cena back in 2011. They climb up. They're struggling for the possession. Morrison gets knocked back with the headbutt, but Morrison grabs both titles and falls backwards with the titles. So the Miz and Morrison retain the tag team titles as the Uso, as Jimmy, Kofi are looking up top and there, like, what the hell just happened? First off, all three guys were holding the belt, holding this thing. This looked silly and goofy. Speaking of, what the hell is with Kofi Kingston's hair? He looked like he had those worms, those gummy worms. What was it called? Like the gummy worms or something. He had like gummy worms, Sour Patch gummy worms in his hair. What the hell was that? Dude with his hairstyles, I know on the New Day part of the Feel the Power thing, he said something about he's doing it because he's taking advantage of his hair as long as he has it because male pattern baldness runs in his family apparently. Anyway, what the fuck was this finish? It's a triple threat ladder match. You couldn't think of anything better? You have Kofi and Jimmy hit Morrison, knocking him down, and Morrison just so happens to have the wherewithal to grab the titles and unclip them because it's Velcro. If those were snaps, those belts ain't coming down that easy, and it would be Uso and Kofi fighting over at the top. This was a joke. This took a match. I give it up to these guys. They went out there and they killed each other. They killed it. It was a hell of a match. But you can't justify that finish. That's the best you could do. Three guys going out there and saying, we're going to wrestle this match as if there's 70, 80,000 people in the arena. I just can't. Can't even. So that like the match wasn't ruined completely, but it did take like that could have been a 5-star triple threat ladder match. They cut a half a star or 3/4 of a star off because of that finish. That was just ridiculous. And this stuff was pre-taped, so they could have edited it and made it look good. That's the finish they went up with. I wonder what they did with these other finishes. Maybe somewhere in the annals of WWE production, they have the lost finishes of WrestleMania. WrestleMania 36. What could have happened in an alternate reality? What could have happened with we would have had had Kofi Kingston versus Jimmy Uso versus John Morrison? What were the other finishes? Because you know they had to have one for each. One for Jimmy, one for Kofi, one for John Morrison. And they went with the John Morrison one. Hey, it is what it is. I can't even think. I can't make this. You can't make this up. 3 guys with the title belts unclipped, but because all 3 guys have the titles or have this golden thing, you can't say, hey, this is done. It's over. Okay, we have a winner. But to have him get headbutted and he has the wherewithal to unhook Velcro and fall backwards just made it look silly. I fucking hate Velcro on these titles. You know how terrible these look with Velcro? It looks like children toys. And when I was way younger, back when the Spinner Championship, I was like in my teens, that Spinner Championship first came out. It was like in 2005, so 2006, whenever I got that spinner. I got one that didn't have it was one of the ones you got from Toys R Us. They didn't have the straps on it. They didn't have like a way to connect it or anything. That's what it felt like these look like with these Velcro. Get some snaps on these. But I guess you wouldn't be able to have this. You wouldn't be able to have a finish like this if those were snaps. Because those were snaps. Those belts ain't moving anywhere. It just looks silly. We got next match, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Tom and Byron back on commentary. Seth is on first and he's by himself because, well, I think it's Akam is injured, so the Authors of Pain ain't going to be able to be there. And Buddy Murphy was sick as well. He was supposed to be here, but he's not due to illness. He was not positive for COVID-19. He was just sick because, it can still happen. Even though this pandemic thing is going on, people can still get the flu, people can still get a common cold, and so on and so forth. Seth Rollins, though, with the Jesus look, when he just walks down the ring in all white and everything, hands out, like, out wide, has the whole Jesus look going. This match went about 10 minutes, and then Seth Rollins decides to grab the timekeeper's bell out of nowhere and drops Owens with it, and the referee calls for the match. After the bell, Rollins laughs some more and hits the bell. Owens' music hits. He limps away, looking down at Owens and laughing. Rollins is all smiles and trash talking. He makes his exit. Owens stumbles to his feet and takes the mic and rolls in the ring and yells at Rollins. Says Rollins doesn't get to end it this way. Calls him a little bitch and calls him back to the ring to finish it once and for all as a no DQ, no rules match. Rollins asks Owens, when is he going to learn? First off, I can understand the like Kevin Owens not being happy about the match ending the way it did. Since when does Kevin Owens have the authority to make a no DQ, no rules match? May I ask, when did that ever happen? When do we have this? Like, since when can a superstar go, you know what? You're not going to get a chance to do that, so I'm going to say I want this match right here, right now. We don't have general managers anymore, so who okayed this? I'm not going to complain. It was a hell of a freaking match afterwards. But who decided that, Kevin Owens wants a no DQ match? Let's give him a no DQ match. Seth returns to the ring after the bell rings. He's running big knee to the face, but Kevin Owens tosses it to the floor. Rollins unloads on Owens against the barrier. Rollins launches Owens into the steel barrier again. Rollins goes off and continues running his mouth. Rollins takes apart his steel swing steps now. He grabs the top half and charges with it, nailing Owens in the head to knock him back down. Towards the end of the match, Rollins tears apart the announce table. Owens grabs the bell and drops Rollins with another bell shot. Rollins on top of the announce table. Owens climbs up top on the Wrestlemania sign, which is high up. He delivers a huge senton to put Rollins through the announce table. It looks like Owens barely connected. He struggles to bring Rollins back to the ring, grabs Rollins in the middle of the ring, drops him with the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens is your winner. After the match, he gets his feet, go to replays, hobbles over the ropes, he looks down at Rollins on the floor, Owens back up in the middle of the ring, and salutes as we go to break. So, it's a good way to break. If the rumors are true, Seth Rollins is supposed to be gone after WrestleMania, was supposed to be going after WrestleMania for a while. We might not see him again until this quarantine crap is over, which is fine. Him and Becky Lynch are supposed to get married anyway, which I don't know what the details of that is going to be, but good way to write him off, and heck of a WrestleMania moment. Kevin Owens hitting a swanton off of the huge-ass WrestleMania sign through the announce table onto Seth Rollins. We go to the approach of Mojo Rawley and Gronkowski interrupted by R-Truth. Truth has been ruined. Life has been ruined by the title. He just needs a place to hide. He asks Mojo and Gronk if he can hide out here, but he offends them. Truth gets dropped by Gronk. And Gronk goes for the pin, but Mojo robs him and steals the pin to win the title. He celebrates, and Gronk looks shocked. Charlotte Caruso is backstage. She's interrupted by Paul Heyman. Heyman hypes up WWE Champion Brock Lesnar for tomorrow's match against Drew McIntyre, which is tonight. And then we get the type card for WrestleMania 36, day number 2. And tonight's matchups are as follows: Natalya versus Liv Morgan on the pre-show. Who cares? Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. That should be your opener. Unfortunately, I think I know what's going to be. Brock Lesnar versus Paul Heyman. We wish. Versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in a Firefly Funhouse match. I feel that's going to be the final match you're going to see on this show. Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks versus Tamina for the Women's Championship of SmackDown in a Fatal 5-Way Elimination match. The Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Aleister Black versus Lashley. Edge versus Randy Orton, last man standing match. And what will probably be your opener of tonight, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler in a singles match, in a grudge match that took a turn for the worse for Dolph Ziggler last Friday. Now, then we have our Universal Championship match. Why this match is happening, I don't have a clue. As we know, the man known as Roman Reigns backed out last minute, which I'm sure, even though WWE says that nothing's going to go against them for backing out if they don't want to be there because of any rhyme reason, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon was not happy with having to come up with a last-minute replacement. This match lasted 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Bell rings, they stare each other down, they meet in the middle of the ring. The champ strikes first with a kick to the gut. Strowman dodges a move in the corner. Strowman goes for a power slam, but the champ slides out, and nails a big spear. Braun gets up, eats another spear, a third spear. Goldberg gets a 2. Champion continues to dominate for a few more moves, hits a couple more spears, goes for the jackhammer. Strowman counters that, hits 4 power slams. 1, 2, 3. New Universal Champion Braun Strowman. And you wonder why this was not the finale of the show, because this match sucked. This was terrible. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what we get from this match is, if you want to get ahead in WWE, just go on Twitter, go on Instagram, go on any social media, and belittle those who are less fortunate than you in the wrestling business. Because this match should have never happened. This match should have happened tomorrow night, with the winner of John Cena versus The Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse match getting the title match tomorrow night, and the boneyard match being tomorrow night. I mean, tonight, you know what I mean. But no, they gave you this match. Lasted 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I hate to see what him and Roman Reigns would have did in that same amount of time. And yes, Braun Strowman is your new Universal Champion. Will he have that title for very long? Probably not. Just like his title reign with the Intercontinental title, whatever the next pay-per-view is going to be, Braun Strowman is probably going to lose the championship. He is not a world champion. It's 2 years too late. They had their chances in 2018. They gave Braun Strowman the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2018. What did they do? They turned him heel, and then his cash-in was in a Hell in a Cell match that ended in a no contest. They ruined Braun Strowman again and again and again 2 years ago. Why should anybody care about this man being Universal Champion. That title is fucking cursed. No doubt about it. If your name's not Brock Lesnar or Bill Goldberg, no one else, like, yes, I know Kevin Owens had a long title reign, but does anybody remember anything special about that title reign? Other than the fact that the champion who just lost it last night beat him in 20 seconds? Didn't think so. So, yeah. If you think Braun Strowman is going to give you a lengthy title reign that actually matters, good luck with that. I have a better chance of being hit by a semi-truck and living to tell the tale than Braun Strowman having a meaningful title reign. I have a better chance of getting the COVID-19 and surviving than Braun Strowman having a meaningful title reign. Give me a break. It's going to just be, that title is irrelevant as irrelevant can be, and Braun Strowman is not the guy to carry it to relevancy. Neither was Roman, neither was the champion, neither was the Fiend. There ain't nobody on SmackDown right now who's going to make that title mean a damn thing. That title is far too damaged for anybody to care about it. We get our first promo for WrestleMania 37, which WWE does this every year. The first promo, going to Hollywood. I'm hoping by the time we get to WrestleMania next year, we get some of those promos for recent movies. We get those parody spoofs that we got in 2006. That's 2005. That stuff was fantastic. Hope we get some more of that next year. And then we get the best thing that has happened so far this weekend. I don't think anything tonight's going to top it. The Boneyard match. We cut to the cemetery. We hear Undertaker's traditional music in the background. A hearse pulls up to the gates and drives in. Two hidden figures step out and open the back door. A coffin slides out. It pops open. But it's AJ Styles who pops up. He's loud and wearing his shirt and jeans. He's ready for the dead man. Where are you, dead man? Where are you? You start hearing. We see a shot of Tiger riding a motorcycle to the road. He drives in the cemetery, listening to coming into Metallica music, looking like the American Badass. He and AJ Styles was ready to fight, and I'm like, yes, this is the Undertaker. This is the dead man. This is the guy I've been wanting to see since the streak was broken. The streak died. It was over. The dead man gimmick was done. The guy has a Twitter account. The guy has an Instagram account. He is all over social media. This guy, the mystique of the dead man has been dead for years. I don't see why the hell we need to see this anymore. So seeing the Biker Undertaker back is a blessing. So it was great to see the guy. Yes, the best characters in wrestling are those who are themselves turned up to 11. But then you have guys like the Undertaker Dead Man version, which is not himself turned up to 11, but this was Mark Calloway, Undertaker, American Badass, whatever you want to say. This was great. So Taker steps out of the shadows in the light. AJ says he didn't think he'd show up and wonder if Michelle knows he's out this place. Yeah. He says he's dug Taker a grave. We see an open hole. Taker says AJ dug his own grave. The trash talking continues. Taker approaches and AJ grabs a brick. But Taker drops him with a shot. Talks trash while beating him around. He brings AJ over and calls him out by Allen and says, "Where you going, man? Where you going?" Sends AJ into the coffin door and slams him into it several times. Grabs a piece of steel off the ground. And this was a take on what happened in 1999 when Bill Goldberg was in WCW and he cut himself up so badly it required surgery, and we never saw him again in WCW. I think it was 2000 actually. I think it was 2000. Yeah, 2000. He was supposed to take this lead pipe and break all these windows, but instead he started using his own hand and ended up cutting himself, so he was done. What happened here was Taker grabs this thing, grabs this piece of metal, goes to attack AJ, hits the window, and then pulls his arm and is like, son of a bitch. Blood coming out. Taker mounts AJ on top of the car, unloads with him, warning him to never talk about his wife again. AJ falls off the car, finally turns it around, but Taker manhandles him some more. Taker knocks AJ into the empty grave. When all of a sudden, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson say, hey Taker, hey dead man, we're just getting started. Taker is surrounded by a bunch of druids, which was probably a bunch of the guys who would have been in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, getting some kind of WrestleMania pay. And I'm thinking here is like, that's more than 10 people. That's definitely more than 10 people. They had to have shot this on private property. AJ works Taker over and yells at Taker, made him break his finger, which you can see AJ just punches him and then it's like, and he backs away and it's like he's adjusting his fingers, so I don't know if he legit broke his finger or not. He yells at Taker to retire and end this. AJ gets the upper hand and talks trash some more while Taker is down. AJ mounts Taker with another big right hand. Taker crawls to the grass where AJ stalks him. Still talking trash, AJ calls for a broken down Taker an old bitch. Grabs a shovel while Taker sits on his knees. Says he's doing the world a favor by burying what's left of Taker. Taker slowly gets up in pain. And AJ takes the shovel, whacks over his back, sending him into the empty grave. It looks like Undertaker is done. And AJ grabs a handful of dirt and says ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Throws dirt down. Climbs onto a tractor. Obviously the winner of this match is the person who buries the other man in this grave. He's like, how do I start this thing? He turns the key finally, it starts up, but then you see a blinding light. The Undertaker, somehow, back to full strength, is behind AJ. While shining light behind him, he grabs AJ, grabs him by the throat, beats him off the tracker, over to the side, Taker's looking a bit different and talking more trash as AJ climbs off the barn. Taker does his arm race thing and makes a bunch of flames come up like Matt Hardy did a couple weeks ago on TNT. Taker fights off AJ, Gallows, and Anderson. He scoops Anderson and hits a tombstone, throws out Gallows off of the top of the barn. AJ fights Taker, but Taker grabs the upper hand and delivers a huge choke slam. He's like, nah, man, this is what you wanted, isn't it? This is what you wanted. Picks him up and tosses him into the dirt, into this grating thing. Comes back down. Confronts AJ and is like, hey, do you remember my wife's name? What's my age again? And he says, we're not done yet. He picks him up and says, we're just getting started. Isn't that what AJ told him? Taker scoops up AJ on his shoulders, brings him over to the empty grave, drops him next to the hole, and AJ says he's sorry. Don't bury me. Don't bury me. Taker asks AJ to say what he's sorry for. AJ begs Taker not to bury him. Taker holds AJ by the throat, taunting him some more, says AJ put up a hell of a fight. He fought his ass off. AJ doesn't want him to be buried. Taker hugs AJ and pats him on the back. Taker says, a lot of people haven't given me that fight, but AJ, you did. He pats him on the back. Taker says that he goes to walk away, but stops, turns around, kicks AJ into the hole from the big boot, stares down at AJ, and walks to the tractor, which is full of dirt. Starts the tractor up, dumps the load of dirt onto AJ in the hole, turns off the tracker. We hear the bell toll a couple times. He hops off the tracker as the bell tolls again and again. Removes the cover of the tombstone. It says AJ Styles 1977 to 2020 with a rest in peace message. Puts on his he grabs a bandana, shakes it off, gets back on his motorcycle, puts the bandana back on. You see AJ's fist through the punching through the dirt, not moving, but it's just there. Taker cranks up his bike, raises his fist, which makes flames jump up in the barn with the purple logo with his Undertaker logo appear. Now that we're dead by the Metallica starts back up as Taker speeds off the cemetery and night one of WrestleMania goes off the air. And I could do no justice to that match. If you want to see that match, go check it out. That was fantastic. I don't know why WWE hasn't done this before. This was great. This was the best thing on the show. This will probably be the best thing we see all weekend. And it kind of makes sense that this was the final thing you saw. Not just because the Universal title match went 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but you weren't going to have them to, well, we're going to go to the Boneyard match, and then we'll see you right back there for the Universal title match, which I think if we ended with the Universal title match with how short it was, they would have left a lot of people pissed off and angry. This was great, just how it ended. What does this do for AJ Styles? I said Taker needed to lose this match, but I don't know what else to say about it. What I will say is that this needs to be the Undertaker we see from now on. Now, if they want to put Undertaker in the Hall of Fame next year, if he's the class of 2021 headliner, he can come out, be the American Badass, he can talk normally, he doesn't have to hide away like he does every fucking year. He can be normal Mark Calloway as the Biker Taker. The dead man gimmick needs to be gone and buried forever. It has passed, it has served its time. It is time to move on and give us Undertaker, dead man, Biker from here to the end of his career. Which honestly should be this match here. This was the perfect way to bury the dead man gimmick and end the Undertaker's career. Plain and simple. This was only night 1. It went 3 hours. That is perfect. If this is what they want to do, there was talk about NXT moving away from being a buffer, like right before the night before pay-per-views, which would be fine by me. I think NXT should be on its own. So if they want to do that, I'm fine with that. I honestly am fine with that. I think that this needs to be. This needs to be, if they want to do 2 Night Manias from here on out, they can do it. Hall of Fame can be on Thursdays. If they want to give us 16 matches and get as many people on WrestleMania, 2 nights is the way to go. Next time it will be in front of a crowd, but of course, the thing about being a 2-Night Mania, the thing that sucks about a 2-Night Mania with a crowd is it's hard to run the same building twice. Now, if they wanted to do a 2-Night Mania and say Brooklyn gets one, let me think here. Like, okay, SoFi Stadium gets night 1 of Hollywood, gets night 2 of Hollywood. WrestleMania goes Hollywood, but night 1 is at the Coliseum where the Rams were playing this past year. That would be fine because you have 2 arenas, but I don't think there's many places that you could do that with WrestleMania and have, because it's like going to Raymond James Stadium twice. It's like you have 80,000 one night, and then the next night you have 65,000. We saw this with the Tokyo Dome back-to-back nights at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year. You had a full house on night 1, but on night 2 you didn't. So it'll be interesting to see if WWE has this feeling of like, hey, this worked out pretty well. Let's do it next year with WrestleMania. You take NXT away from there because NXT's outgrown being on the weekends of Big 4 pay-per-views. NXT should be on its own. Let NXT takeovers be on its own. But that is your WrestleMania Night 1 PCMANIA review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Night 2 of PCMANIA. Unscripted will return next week. There was just too much WrestleMania for me to be able to have the time to watch WrestleMania and trying to review it and then go and do an unscripted. So we're going to do unscripted 115, I believe, next week. But until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.